So what did your parents think when you decided, when did you decide to be a writer, and how did your family react to that?
I decided to be a writer when I saw Star Wars. Everybody knows the story, but anyway, when Darth Vader goes spinning off in the end, I was 7 and I knew that there was going to be another story, and I thought, oh my gosh, it's someone's job to write that story. I could write it, you know. So I worked very hard on my sequel to Star Wars, which, by the way, George Lucas didn't.
I
pick.
wish you had written the prequels because
I know
they could have used your touch.
Yeah, I wish I had too. So that was when I sort of knew that I wanted to be a writer, and I think my parents, who are scientists, I think that they sort of felt like that there's a very big similarity between research science and art, and so I think for them it wasn't really that big a
That's
deal.
nice, yeah.
So I think the nicest thing was when I finally sold my first book, and I felt like, see, that faith in me,
That
was,
validation, yeah.
it was well placed. So
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
always, my parents were always very supportive of it. I wrote a story in 4th grade that won some prize, and my dad was always talking, we should send this to publishers, and I mean, of course we shouldn't have, but just knowing he had that faith in me. I mean, when I got my first book deal, I called him, he was driving, he had to pull over to the side of the road because he was crying, he was so happy. It just has been a very positive thing in my life. I've always had that family support, which makes all the difference.
Yeah, it does. And I think it's good to sort of get that little cheerleading, because writing is so hard that if you have that cheerleading from someone like a parent or a teacher, whatever, a friend, then you get sort of a boost to keep going.
Absolutely. When it's hard, you know that you have people who are rooting for you to succeed. Yeah, for sure.
So what inspires you?
That's such a strange
I know,
question.
I don't like
It's just so broad, and people ask it all the time. Where do you get your ideas? What inspires you? And I'm going, a long car ride, a dramatic landscape.
The mailman.
What's your mailman like?
No, I mean, I'm just saying, perhaps they will bring a package.
Yes.
That will be interesting.
Okay, packages,
you know?
yes. Okay, I'm like, my mailman isn't that interesting.
No,
I'd like
I
to
know,
meet yours. But, music, oftentimes an idea for me will start with wanting to express some emotional thing, like an impossible relationship, or, how to accept people's love when it's not how you think that they should love you, things like that. And then when I get a character voice, then that all kind of combines. But for me, it's always a combination of things. You pull inspiration, little threads from things that are not connected at all, and you put them together.
That's kind of how I feel, and I think that's why, I say, the mailman or whatever. It might be a sunset. It might be the fact that there's a meteor shower in the sky. It might be the fact that I had a thought while driving to the grocery store. But all of these things, or I'm sad, or I'm mad at a friend. All these things come together, and it's sort of you put them in a bag and you shake it up, and then sort of. So nothing is recognizable, even though everything is actually plucked from my life.
It's the combination.
Yeah.
It's the new way that you put it all together.
Yeah.
I agree.